And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
Lately, I've been condensing the games that I own. I'm getting ready to move, and so I'm getting rid of hundreds and hundreds of games. It looks like I have tons of games behind me, but I'm condensing the camera. You can't see all the empty shelves that are still around. But as I'm condensing these games, one fact is true. I do not own any Steve Jackson games. I've always found Steve Jackson games to be low on quality, certainly for the amount that you pay for them. And while I found some fun, I never found any that I thought were really that great. The best one is probably one of their flagship games, Illuminati. So I was very, very, very surprised when I played Revolution. Now, people have been telling me all year that I should try out Revolution, and I just never got around to it. And first of all, I was surprised that the box was so sturdy. I was surprised at how sturdy and nice the components were, how beautiful the boards were, but the game is fun. Now, if you're someone who doesn't like a bit of chaotic blind bidding, then this may not be the kind of game. But I love it. I love trying to outguess the other people and bid. And the theme, while not perfect, makes a lot of sense. Revolution is a really fun, interesting game. I'm not a huge fan of auction games, but this is a good one. Let's look at it.
Here's the board. Now, the board is basically used for part of the game, in a sense. There's a scoring track around the outside of it. And inside of it, we have different sections. For example, you see Plantation, Tavern, Cathedral, Fortress, Town Hall, Market, and woohoo, the Harbor. Each of these places has a spot for cubes. At the end of the game, whoever has the most cubes in a certain spot, so let's say I have more cubes in the Harbor than anyone else, then they will get the points associated with that. For example, the Harbor is 40 points. The game is over when there is a cube in every open spot on this board. But how do we get points onto the board? Well, that's what's interesting. In this game, there's three currencies. There's gold, blackmail, and force. The three wonderful currencies of the Revolution. Now, if you are bidding someone else and you both bid 1 gold, you've tied. No one gets it. But if one person bids 2 gold to 1 gold, then gold wins. The person with 2 gold wins. So if you bid more than someone else. However, if someone bids 1 blackmail and I bid 643 gold, or, okay, let's be realistic. Let's say I bid 3 gold and someone bids 1 blackmail. Blackmail wins because blackmail is always better than gold. Now, blackmail and 1 gold is better than 1 blackmail, and so on and so forth. 2 blackmail is better than 1 blackmail. Force, though, apparently is better than blackmail. I could put $20 in your pocket and tell you that I need your help, and another guy can come and put a gun to your head. You'll probably help him. Force is better than blackmail. A force and a blackmail beats just a force. A force and a gold beats just a force. And that's basically how it works. I guess if you're a Dungeons & Dragons player, we have copper, silver, and gold here. But anyway, these are the three currencies of the game. Players use a shield, and for people who make shields for games, I never thought I would say this, but folks, take a note from Steve Jackson. These are shields. It's made out of the same stuff, basically, that a board is made out of. It stands up. Doesn't fall over. A breath of air doesn't knock it over. It's a very good shield. So you put that shield around one of these boards, and on this board you are going to be putting your bets. Well, let's try to zoom up here a little bit on the board itself, because this is really the focus of the game. Now, what you do at the beginning of each turn is you will take whatever resources you have. So let's say I have 3 gold, 2 blackmail, and a force, and I'm going to put them on these different characters. I can put whatever I want on each character. I'm trying to outbid the other people for the different characters. However, if a character is red, force does not work on them. I can't force the general. Same thing if a character is black. I can't use blackmail on them. And down here, the rogue and mercenary, neither blackmail nor force will work on those. So, for example, I could do this. I could put 2 gold on the rogue, try to blackmail the aristocrat, blackmail the captain, put a gold in the printer, put a force and a gold on the innkeeper. Let's say I really want him. And so I do all that, then everyone reveals their boards at the same time. Starting with the general, going over, next row, going over, next row, going over. We look at each person, and whoever has the highest bid gets whatever that person says. Now, most people give you some sort of support. For example, the general gives you 1 support, and basically a support is a point. The general also gives you 1 force, so you will have a force to use in the next round. And the general lets you influence the fortress, so I can put 1 cube in the fortress spot on the board. And that's what most of the people do. They give you support, they may give you some resources to bid with next turn, because whatever you bid, win or lose, it's gone. So even if you don't get anything, you're going to lose all your bids. And so most of them will do that. However, a few are different. For example, the printer is an interesting one because he simply gives you 10 support, 10 points. If you did that every turn, there's a good chance you're going to win. So people will go for that. But other ones, you might go over here and the merchant gives 3 support only, but he also gives you 5 gold. Then there's some very interactive spaces down here. The spy lets you take a cube of someone else off the board and replace it with one of your own. And the apothecary lets you switch 2 on the board. And so knowing which of these to go for helps you out. Now, let's say at the end of your turn, after doing this, I had gotten 1 of each. Well, you always have 5 tokens for the next turn. Even if you spent everything, you simply fill up to 5 with gold. So if I had nothing, I would at least get 5 gold. But if I had a force, a blackmail, and 5 gold already, I'm sorry, I don't get anything else. So you always have at least 5 gold, and you continue going till all the cubes are on the board. At that point, you find the majority of all the areas on the board, and the person with the most support or points is the winner of the game.
Well, once again, I bite my tongue because I cannot believe Steve Jackson came out with such marvelous components after I've criticized him in the past. Maybe the box is a little too big, but still, okay, I'm reaching for straws for criticism there. I like the tokens. They're a lot of fun to throw around. It's very obvious what gold, what blackmail, what force is, and how they all work together. I really enjoy the blind bidding aspect of this game. Because if someone is constantly going for the general, I might say after a while, well, I might as well go for someone else. Or I can bid a lot knowing I will beat them, or maybe they're confident that no one is going after them. And knowing which of these people are going for and trying to outbid them is a lot of fun. Actually, because of this, Revolution makes a better 3-player game than a 4-player game. In fact, it doesn't work with 2. It's 3 or 4. And with 3 players, you're outguessing 2 people. With 4, you're outguessing 3, and the chance of you getting nothing is high. Now, some people play with a variant that when you bid, if you lose, you get the stuff you bid with back. I haven't tried that out, so I haven't felt the need to do so, but that would alleviate some people's problem with the blind bidding. But I find it very interesting, and as the board gets filled up, the focus of the game shifts. In the beginning of the game, no one cares about the spy, but he gets more and more powerful as game goes by. The rules of the game are just a few pages, very easy to understand. The whole game just works very smoothly. If you like blind bidding, you're going to love this game. If you hate blind bidding, you're probably not going to like this game either. However, there's a lot of different things you can do, and it's very interesting that each turn, what you bid on is based on what people did in the previous turn. Lots of fun. And I did not think I would ever be giving a Steve Jackson game this high praise, but this one, folks, is definitely worth checking out.
Thanks for joining us today. For more written, audio, and video reviews, as well as the #1 board game podcast, check out the website at www.thedicetower.com. Until then, this is Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.